Now what I told you that you just multiply equation number 1 with, now multiply equation 1 with S24 conjugate and equation 2 with S13 conjugate, and and subtract the resulting expressions. Okay, and subtract to obtain S14 conjugate, S13 square plus minus. Okay, so this is we are getting similarly after multiplying row 1 and row 3. So next page I am writing. So let us write down the matrix again, because otherwise you will forget what I am going to tell you. So this is the scattering matrix we have considered. So now what I want to tell you that multiplying the multiplication, similarly the multiplication of row 1 and row 3 and the multiplication of row 4 and row 2 gives okay. Now this is your equation 3 and suppose this is equation 4. Okay, now let us multiply now multiplying so now multiply equation 3 by S12 and 4 by S34 and subtract 2 obtain. Okay, so this you are going to get. Now what is the how these equations we are going to satisfy, like equation uh, if we say the equation, two equations we are getting after the multiplication and subtraction. Let us write down that these two equations again, so you will not get confused. So the two equations we are getting, so this is the first equation we are getting, and another equation we are getting is, so this is the second equation we are getting. So these two equations we are getting. Okay, so in order to satisfy these two equations, if if S14 and S23 is equal to 0. Okay, so this results in a directional coupler. This results in a directional coupler. So, uh, so if you satisfy this, then it will result in a directional coupler. So, which results in a directional, which results in a directional coupler. Okay, so then the self products of the rows of matrix. So if we see the this unitary matrix, if we see the unitary matrix, then what we are going to get? We are going to get modulus of S12 square plus modulus of S13 square is equal to 1. Modulus of S12 square plus modulus of S24 square is equal to 1. Modulus of S13 square plus modulus of S34 square is equal to 1. Modulus of S24 square plus modulus of S34 square is equal to 1. So these are equations. So what it implies, that it implies that modulus of S13 should be equal to modulus of S24, and modulus of S12 is equal to modulus of S24. These two equations we are getting. These two equations we are getting. Okay, so this is your the 2 and 3 port directional coupler. So there are some parameters that you need to understand. That first thing is coupling. First thing is coupling. So what is coupling? It is represented by C, and it is 10 log P1 divided by P3. Okay. Then we have directivity, that is denoted by D, and that is equals to 10 log P3 divided by P4. We will do some numericals. Okay, we will do some numericals. Then we have isolation, and it is equals to, it is represented by capital I, and that is equals to 10 log P1 divided by P4. Okay, so these things, and the relation between I, D and C is the insertion is equals to directivity plus coupling. Okay, so this is the relation. This is the relation. Okay, so we will see some numericals later. We will see some numericals later. Now, now let us see the T junction power divider. Let us see the T junction power divider. So the T junction power divider is a simple three-port network. The T junction power divider is a simple three-port network that can be used for power division. That can be used for power division or power combining, and can be implemented in virtually any type of transmission or medium. So let us see that various T junction power dividers. We have various types. So let us see that the various types of T junctions. So we have 1 minute, please. Okay, so this is your So this type is basically the E plane. This is E plane type. Okay. This is E plane type. Also we have this type also possible. So this is H plane type. Please forgive me, my drawing is not good. So this is basically the E-plane waveguide. You will find out these diagrams in textbooks. So just you see here this shape. Just we are saying that this is E-plane waveguide T junction. This is S-plane waveguide T junction, and also one more. This is simply microstrip. Okay, this microstrip type is it is. Uh, so this is micro strip T junction. Third. So these are popular types of T junctions in your exam. Definitely it will come in 10 marks if they will they will ask the classifications and various types. So you need to draw the figures, okay, neat and clean figure. So these are three-dimensional figures, and so basically we have E-plane type, S-plane type, and microwave strip junctions. Okay, so uh, these are commonly used T junctions in waveguide and microstrip form. Okay, so the functions are shown here as in the absence of transmission line lossless junction. Okay, so uh, such junctions cannot be matched simultaneously at all the ports. It is not possible that such junctions are perfectly matched simultaneously at all the ports. So we will treat such junctions a resistive divider. Basically, there are some, and of course, cannot be matched at all ports. So if these are not lossless. These are not lossless because here that some losses are there due to the due to the imperfect termination. Some losses obviously some losses will be there. So just you see the if we draw the transmission line model of T junction, if we draw the transmission line model of a lossless T junction, so let us see that uh, this is characteristic impedance. So here you have uh, three lines are there basically. This is Z1, this is Z2. So Z1 is for this first line, that Z1 is for this second line, and Z3 this is sorry, Z2, so this is for third line, and this is the equivalent transmission line equivalent representation of the T junction. Okay, now if you have a lossless divider, so here in this figure, if you see the previous figure, uh, in this figure, basically the transmission that in transmission line there is a term called propagation constant, that is alpha plus j beta. So lossless condition alpha is 0, so gamma will become j beta only. Okay, so let us discuss the lossless divider. Let us discuss the lossless divider, and this is basically the if you see that this is basically the lossless T junction, lossless divider, because alpha is 0 we have considered, so gamma will become j beta only. Okay, so lossless divider. So the lossless T junction can all be modeled at a junction of three transmission line. Okay, so that junctions we have seen the various shapes: E type, S type, and microstrip type. So suppose it is a lossless, and we can represent in terms of transmission line that we have already represented in previous page. So the lossless T junctions, the lossless T junctions can all be modeled as a junction of three transmission line. So this is your first transmission line, this is your second transmission line, this is your third transmission line. Z0, Z1, Z2. So gamma is alpha plus j beta. Alpha is 0, so gamma is only j beta. Now let us see the input admittance. So input admittance is simply the j beta, and it is equals to 1 divided by z1 plus 1 divided by z2. Sorry, j beta plus j beta plus sorry. Okay, so the admittance is basically the j beta plus 1 divided by z1 plus 1 divided by z2, and that is, of course, it is equals to 1 divided by z0, because all are matched, so basically in case of matched condition, 1 divided by z naught. Okay, so before that, one more statement I want to tell you, one more note is there. So basically uh, basically that B, basically the B, that is the lump susceptance, that is the B, that is simply called the lump susceptance. So if it is divided into equal parts, if it is divided into equal parts, that line, that divider we have considered, so basically, if it is lossless, line, then the characteristic impedance, this quantity is basically, if it is lossless, then if you remember, for lossless line, it is Z naught is equals to under root L by C, that is purely resistive. And here this term is imaginary. So I in if it is lossless, then it is purely resistive only this quantity. So this B should be equals to 0. So it means 1 divided by Z naught should be equals to 1 divided by Z1 plus 1 divided by Z2. This is the condition that we are going to use in case of lossless. This I already told you in class many times that if you have a lossless transmission line, then of course that characteristic impedance should be purely resistive. So if Z0 is purely resistive, then 1 divided by Z0 should also purely resistive. Means it is purely real. It is real quantity. There is no imaginary term. Okay, so this is the condition. All of you please remember, this is the condition. So if you have any question, you can ask. Now we are going to see the resistive divider. Now we are going to see the resistive divider. So if a three-port net divider contains lossy components, okay, some losses are there. If the three if the three-port divider if the three-port divider contains lossy components, it can be made to be matched at all the ports. It can be matched to be all the ports. Okay. So the circuit for this divider is shown in figure. This figure below you can see here. So uh, you can see here. So here you have Z naught. Okay. This is port 1. This is port 3. This is port 2. Okay. So it is divider. So basically it is Z naught by 3, and also it is also Z naught by 3. It is also Z naught by 3. This is the main, this is the difference if you compare with the previous circuit. Okay. If you compare with the previous circuits. So that's this is the T junction. Okay. This is the T junction. So these are your these dividers. One is your lossless divider, and another one is your resistive dividers. Okay, so these are your. So I think uh, okay. So it is enough for today, I think.